In a small, bustling town lived a young man named David. Like many others, David dreamed of becoming successful. He admired the great figures of his time, the entrepreneurs, athletes, and thinkers who seemed to have mastered the art of life. He often wondered what their secret was. How did they achieve so much, while others struggled to get by? David was hardworking, no doubt. He put in long hours at his job and tried his best to be efficient, but something was missing. His results never seemed to match the amount of effort he put in. He would start each day with the best intentions, promising himself he would be more productive, focused, and dedicated, but by the end of the day, he often felt exhausted and unaccomplished. One evening, after another long day of work with little to show for it, David sat on a bench in the town square, feeling defeated. That's when he noticed Mr. Harris, an elderly man, who was known throughout the town for his wisdom and success. Mr. Harris owned several businesses, was a respected community leader, and always seemed content with life. Curious about what made Mr. Harris so successful, David gathered the courage to approach him. "Mr. Harris," David began, "I've always admired how you've accomplished so much in your life. I work hard every day, but I never seem to get closer to my goals. What's your secret to success?" Mr. Harris smiled warmly and gestured for David to sit beside him. "There's no grand secret," he replied. "Success isn't about working hard once in a while or relying on luck. It's about the small, consistent things you do every single day. It's all about habits." David looked puzzled. "Habits? But I've never really thought much about my habits. I just try to work hard and stay motivated." "That's the problem," said Mr. Harris. "Many people think success comes from big moments or sudden breakthroughs, but in reality, it's built on the foundation of good habits. Let me tell you a story." Mr. Harris leaned back and began to tell David about his own journey. When he was young, he had been much like David, eager to achieve great things, but unsure of how to get there. He worked hard, but his efforts often felt scattered and unproductive. One day, he came across a book that changed his perspective. The book talked about the power of habits, explaining that success is not a destination, but a result of the small decisions we make every day. "I realized that if I wanted to succeed," Mr. Harris continued, "I had to change my approach. Instead of focusing on the end goal, I needed to focus on the habits that would get me there. So, I started small. I began by waking up an hour earlier each day to plan my day and reflect on my goals. At first, it was difficult, but over time, it became second nature." David listened intently as Mr. Harris explained how he gradually added more good habits to his routine. He started setting aside time each day to learn something new, whether through reading or attending workshops. He also developed the habit of managing his time carefully, prioritizing the most important tasks first and eliminating distractions. These small changes, over time, had a profound impact on his productivity and success. "Before I knew it," said Mr. Harris, "I was getting more done in a day than I used to accomplish in a week. And it wasn't because I was working harder, it was because my habits were working for me. I didn't have to rely on motivation or willpower all the time, because my habits made things automatic." David nodded, beginning to understand. "So, success is about building the right habits." "Exactly," replied Mr. Harris. "The habits you build shape your actions, and your actions determine your outcomes. But it's not just about building any habits, it's about building good ones."